My dear friends in the Lord, happy Sunday to everyone. Today in the Gospel according to St. Mark, we are able to reflect on a central experience and a central moment of the ministry of Jesus Christ and his disciples. After ministering the poor, the needy, Jesus asked his disciples about his own identity by this question: who do you say that I am? If we read the Gospel of St. Mark, all these first 8 chapters, we had that question from the people constantly. Who is this man who has power, who can heal, who can rise the dead? This man who has shown the signs of the presence of the Lord. There is a question about Jesus, but now it's Jesus himself who asks this question. Who do you say that I am? And this question is not only for the apostles, for the disciples at that time, but it's a question for each one of us. Who is Jesus for us? This question is essential in our experience of faith, because by understanding the true identity of Jesus, by understanding his mission and why he's present in our world, we can understand our own identity as disciples. So of course, there were many answers to that question. Jesus was a prophet, a political leader, was a famous man, a holy man. Peter answered correctly, but it was an incomplete answer. You are the Christ. Why is the answer of Peter incomplete? Because for the disciples, they had the idea that the Christ or the Messiah, the anointed one, the successor of King David, will be the one who will free Israel from the power of the enemies, especially during that time from the power of the Romans. It will be a kind of political and military leader that will help Israel to recover the splendor that they had during the time of the kingship of Solomon and especially the King David. But the word of the Lord, and especially the plan of God, was not to become a political leader. If we read the first reading proposed today from the book of the prophet Isaiah, we are reminded that the Messiah, that the Christ is the servant of God, the suffering servant of God who is willing to give up his own life for the salvation of all. That's why after this answer of Peter, Jesus began to teach them about what was going to happen in Jerusalem. The disciples thought that by traveling to Jerusalem, Jesus was going to find the kingdom. He will be crowned as the King of the Jews. They thought that they were about to become kind of ministers and the right hand for the new king. They will have some positions of authority. They were ambitious about that. But the plan that Jesus revealed on that day was different. The Son of Man must suffer greatly, be rejected by the elders, the religious leaders, the political leaders, be killed, and on the 3rd day he will rise again. So this was an unexpected plan. They thought there was another reality, so Peter tried to oppose to this plan, tried to convince Jesus not to go to Jerusalem, to avoid embracing the cross. But Jesus rebuked Peter and said something very strong. Get behind me, Satan. Can you imagine? Our first pope was called Satan. Who is Satan? Is the stone that becomes an obstacle in the way. Peter, the rock where Jesus wanted to found his church, becomes an obstacle for his way. And sometimes we can be an obstacle for the Lord when we don't understand the mission He has come to fulfill and the mission He calls me to fulfill in life. We are not called to look for position, for fame, for recognition from others. We are not called to look for a comfortable life, but we are invited to go behind, to be disciples, not to be the boss of the Lord, but we are invited to go behind in humble discipleship. That's why the Lord calls us, and He tells us clearly, whoever wishes to come after me must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. What does it mean to take up one's own cross? It means to embrace the responsibility to take the same options like Jesus, to love like Jesus, to forgive like Jesus, to serve like Jesus, to be willing to give up one's own life like Jesus. So, there is a question for you. Who is Jesus for you? And in the light of that answer, who I am as disciple of the Lord. May the Lord bless you, and may this week be an opportunity to grow in faith, in understanding of the Lord, and in commitment with Him and with our own vocation. God bless you.